Jennifer Lopez is not okay, and many people think she's going through a midlife crisis due to her behavior. First off, we have to talk about her Pride performance. Shocked fans when she hit the stage in dangerously high-cut bodysuits during her World Pride performance in Washington, D.C. Now, she shouldn't have been wearing something like that. It was way too risky, and she could have had a seriously bad wardrobe malfunction. What she was thinking when wearing this, we have no idea, but people online have called it inappropriate and say that she's too old to be dressing that way. Honestly though, I don't think anyone should be wearing an outfit like that. Fans made comments about the outfits online, and one person said, "I admire what great shape she's in, but time to stop trying to be a young pop star." One user wrote of a TikTok video featuring her performance. Now another question, why do artists feel like they need to dress like this? The dress code needs to stop. And a third added, "I'm embarrassed for her. My toes are fully clenched." Yikes. J-Lo seemed to not care though. Per Out magazine, Lopez stopped to thank her queer fans amid her performance. "Over the years, your love and your support have been a source of strength for me, and today I am here to celebrate you," she said to the crowd. "I'm so happy to be able to be here and celebrate community, diversity, love, and freedom." Then after her performance, she posted photos on Instagram where she captioned them, "Major shout out to @TheBlondesNY for slaying my sparkly World Pride stage looks, and to @FashionBy Rayoritz for that fierce black catsuit moment." If she saw any of the backlash, she definitely didn't care. J-Lo first hosted the award show in 2005, so this wasn't completely new to her. Unfortunately for her though, the 2025 AMAs was branded as the worst AMAs in the awards ceremony, the 51-year-old's history by many viewers. Now, why may you ask? Well, there were hardly any A-list celebrities there. A lot of the key performances were actually pre-recorded and not live, and there was a ton of drama about who won what awards. Now, overall, the night was just messy, and having J-Lo's name attached to it definitely was not a good thing. Not to mention, J-Lo embarrassed herself in her performance when she opened the show with a medley of the most popular songs of the year. Many people felt the performances, fell flat, while others thought it was a desperate attempt to get attention. For example, during the performance, J-Lo kissed a male dancer. Okay, whatever, but then she went and kissed a female dancer. Many people thought this was an attempt to draw more attention to J-Lo, bring shock value to her set, but a lot of people online ended up just making fun of the star and straight up just didn't care about what happened. It just wasn't a good look and made J-Lo look even more pathetic. Then after the show, J-Lo made everything about her as she announced her new Las Vegas residency. Yep, it seems like her hosting the show was just a setup for her to promote herself, since she had to cancel her last tour, a tour which, by the way, had very poor ticket sales. It seems like J-Lo is doing all she can these days to get the attention on her, but the truth is, it's actually making people just feel bad for her and wondering if she's truly okay.
Kelly Clarkson has had a rough go recently when it comes to her Vegas residency. Now, Kelly postponed the first two performances of her Caesars Palace shows 90 minutes before the show was to begin to rest her voice. Now, she announced hours before the start of her show on July 4th that she would not be taking the stage after suffering from a vocal strain. "The prep and rehearsals have taken a toll on my voice," she said in a statement on Instagram. "I want the shows to be perfect for y'all, and I need to protect myself from doing serious damage, so I'm taking this weekend and next week to rest up so that we can deliver what you all deserve. The show is truly incredible," and she added that she was devastated, but she wanted the residency to start out strong. Now, Kelly said the following weekend would mark the premiere of it instead. When the residency resumed on July 11th, she apologized again. "It took me a minute, I'm sorry. I know some of y'all had tickets for last weekend's shows. I'm so sorry. We can't help our bodies sometimes. We get sick and that happens. But thank y'all for showing up," she added. "We are so excited. This is my favorite residency, my favorite show I've ever put together, because I love being in the studio." Now, later in the night, Kelly took a shot of tequila with an audience member and quipped, "I'm celebrating because I had to cancel last weekend. I cried. I was so sick. It sucked. I'm so happy to be here." Now, this isn't all that happened, as Kelly almost had an embarrassing wardrobe malfunction during her opening weekend. Wearing a Willie Nelson shirt, Kelly paused the show to tell the audience that she was getting hot. She then admitted to the crowd that something else was happening underneath her top. "I'm not gonna lie, I have these like pasty things underneath," she confessed. "I am so hot, is this the change?" she said, holding her chest, and she told the audience that those pasties weren't staying put, warning those in the front row that they were going to get a little more than they paid for. "Oh my god, it's gonna happen," she said. "You might all of a sudden see boobs." Now, it's good that she could laugh it off, but wow, that really sounds like a rough start to her residency. And people have actually been worried about Kelly recently, as in March, Kelly missed about 10 episodes of her talk show. Fans were told that she was dealing with a private matter, and that was it. Apparently though, she experienced a clear-minded moment of clarity following the personal issue that saw her abruptly leave her talk show, sources told Page 6. "This has all been very painful for her," revealed the industry insider who worked closely with Kelly. "The difficulty is that Kelly, like all of us, wants to be liked, and she had to deal with this new moment in her life. She knew she had to step down for a minute." Now, it was later reported that her ex-husband, Brandon Blackstock, was unwell, and she took their children to visit him. But there have also been rumors that Kelly wants to quit her show early, with her contract expiring in 2026. Now, it seems like Kelly has had a rough couple of months, but we hope that the rest of her residency goes smoothly and she's really enjoying what she does. Last week, a couple went viral after their reaction to them being on the Jumbotron at a Coldplay concert was caught on camera. Now, when the camera panned to them and they were holding each other all lovingly, but once they discovered the camera was on them, they turned away and covered their faces. Coldplay frontman Chris Martin joked that they were either having an affair or really shy, and that's why they didn't want to be on camera. Later, Chris remarked, "I hope we didn't do something bad," but yeah, a little too late for that bud. It turns out that these two people worked together and were having an affair, cheating on their partners. People online found out that the man was Andy Bryan, the chief executive of a tech firm Astronomer, and the woman was another senior staffer, some saying that she was even head of HR. Now, after this came out, the video went even more viral. Now, some people found their significant others and messaged them about it, found them on LinkedIn, others made memes, and some people even recreated the viral moment when they were put on the Jumbotron at other sporting events. I mean, everyone knows about this scandal, and it's just a bad look for the company. So this past weekend, the company finally put out a statement about what happened, and they posted a statement on its social media channels on Saturday, saying Andy Bryan had tendered his resignation 3 days after the video went viral. In the social media storm that followed, the pair were alleged to be having an affair. An Astronomer previously said Bryan had been placed on leave, but the company has yet to confirm it was him in the video. However, on Saturday afternoon, the company said Bryan's resignation had been accepted by its board of directors and would begin a search for its next chief executive. Now, in a statement a day earlier on Friday, the company remarked on the viral moment, saying that it had launched a formal investigation into the matter. Now, this whole situation is just crazy. I mean, it has literally everyone in the world talking about it, and I truly can't imagine what they and their families are going through, being on the forefront of everyone's minds, news articles, and social media pages right now. So yeah, maybe next time you decide to cheat on your partner, which you shouldn't do in general, maybe try to not be so touchy and look cute, or you could be exposed by the very people you're watching in concert. Now, Coldplay actually addressed the viral video at one of their latest concerts, with Chris saying, "We'd like to say hello to some of you in the crowd and put some of you on the big screen. How we're gonna do that is we're gonna use our cameras and put some of you on the big screen. Please, if you haven't done your makeup, do your makeup now," he added with a laugh.
Kim Kardashian's embarrassing runway walk have fans seriously worried about her. Kim Kardashian just hit the runway for Balenciaga at Paris Fashion Week, and the internet is not letting her live it down. Her mom, Kris Jenner, proudly posted the video like a true momager, only for it to be immediately roasted in the comments. Let's talk about Kim's walk first, okay, man? It was awkward, slow, stiff. It just wasn't giving what I know though she thought it was giving in her head in the moment. Fans said she looked like she was either drunk, constipated, or maybe both. One person wrote, "This is how I walk after 2 margaritas trying to act normal, but clearly failing." Another person said, "She walks like a toddler who just woke up from a nap and needs to go pee." Brutal. Someone even tagged Kendall Jenner asking her to just please help your sister. And honestly, yeah, Kendall is a legit supermodel, so that's fair. Meanwhile, Kim looked like, she was kind of just walking to the fridge at 3 a.m. in silence so she wouldn't wake her kids. I mean, comments flooded in, of course. One person said, "Go Kim, give us nothing," which was my reaction as well. And someone else said, "Is she hurt? Nauseous? Drunk? Like, what is happening?" And my personal favorite comment actually was, "She walks like a bored housewife answering the door in her robe after, one too many shots." But let's also talk about the look. Kim was wearing a satin nightie, a nod to Elizabeth Taylor's iconic slip and, cat on the hot tin roof. Classy reference, but the walk, not so much. I mean, Chris even captioned the post bragging that Kim was wearing Elizabeth Taylor's actual diamond earrings, like that was gonna distract anyone from the walk. Now, Kim's been tied to Balenciaga for years. Remember when she showed up to the 2021 Met Gala looking like a shadowy ghost in head to toe black, including a full face covering? Yeah, that was Balenciaga. And of course, Demna, the brand's creative director, is basically one of her fashion BFFs. But that friendship got tested in 2023 when Balenciaga dropped that very scandalous, weird ad campaign. The one with the kids holding teddy bears and bondage outfits. Yeah, that was really horrific. And one image even had the Supreme Court documents, about inappropriate stuff just casually sitting in the background. It was really dark, really disturbing, and sparked major backlash. And unless you were living under a celebrity rock, you do know about it. Now, even though Kim wasn't part of that campaign, people came for her hard because of her close ties to the brand. She finally broke her silence, saying she was disgusted and outraged and that she was reevaluating her relationship with the fashion house. Spoiler alert, she kept working with them anyway. So now she's back on their runway, and instead of a redemption arc, she gave us, well, the sleepwalking shuffle. Listen, we love a good Kim moment. She's iconic, she's influential, but if you're gonna walk a runway in Paris wearing Elizabeth Taylor's earrings, you better channel Cleopatra, not sleepy toddler. Either way, it was a complete mess. Justin Bieber got into a screaming match with paparazzi as he begged them to stop harassing him. Footage of Justin Bieber getting into a screaming fight with the paparazzi outside a private members club in Malibu recently have been released. The video depicts Justin in a powder blue hoodie and baggy green pants as he tries to block his face from the circling media hounds on Thursday evening of June 12th. He can be heard saying from behind his hand, "Not me today, bro." The exchange lasted 11 minutes long, during which the star accused the opportunist photographers of mistreating him and criticized their audacity in questioning him. Bieber could be heard shouting in response to a photographer's question, saying, "How do you think it's going with you in my bleeping face? Get out of my face." He then continued to say, "You don't get to force questions in people's face and take videos out of context and use it against people. That's mean. It's mean to provoke people." He further accused them of treating, privacy invasion like a game, which resulted in one of the photographers laughing, and he said, "And now you're laughing because you know it's true." The photographers eventually backed away but kept the cameras rolling, prompting Bieber to continue his tirade. He said, "You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you. I don't give a F if you're on the sidewalk. I'm a human bleeping being. You're standing around my car at the beach." He continued to say, "I'm a real man. I'm a father. I'm a dad. And you guys are on private property in front of my car." When one bold pap wished him a happy early Father's Day, Justin sizzled with rage, saying, "I don't know you. You don't get to go to people you don't know and just say ish out of nowhere with a camera in their face. It doesn't matter if I'm a celebrity or not. It doesn't matter if I'm a public figure." Now, when the paps argued back, defending themselves by saying they were just standing on the sidewalk again and, had a right to question him, Justin said that their video would be taken out of context. He said, "You'll take this video out of context like you always do. You think I'm an idiot, bro?" He continued on to say, "I'm at my wit's end is what I am at. I'm demanding respect. You confuse my anger with disrespect. It's anger because you're disrespecting me. You don't get to disrespect me and get away with it." Justin told them that, their job jobs were at the expense of another human being. Now, Justin accused the pups of basically standing around him like he's just some sort of animal. Now, after his parking lot screaming match with the photographers on Thursday night, Bieber took to Instagram, again to show off his son. The slideshow depicts the singer carrying Jack Blues in a baggy red Balenciaga top and yellow shorts with mismatched socks, captioned with the phrase "Ay baby" and a flip-off emoji. He actually posted several photos and the caption was just the middle finger emoji, even one with his son and Hailey sitting at the piano, which was honestly just bizarre. But anyway, fans have been really concerned for Justin's well-being in recent months, and the recent months, the singer, who has been married to Hailey since 2018, has shared very cryptic posts, often expressing his thoughts on love. There have been rumors that Justin and Hailey's relationship was on the rocks. Justin Timberlake was caught screaming at his employees on stage, and lucky for us, it was recorded. Okay, so Justin Timberlake is not bringing sexy back, he's bringing stage rage. During a recent show at the Lytham Festival in the UK, Justin Timberlake had what fans are calling a full-blown meltdown right on stage in front of thousands of people. Cameras caught him turning away from the audience and screaming at his crew backstage, and let me tell you, it wasn't subtle. We're talking full volume, hand waving, red in the face kind of energy. Now, this isn't just a random internet theory, there's actual footage of him mouthing something that looks a lot like "I said no." And then he throws his hands up in total frustration. Not part of the choreography, folks. Now, fans immediately, of course, whipped out their phones faster than you can say "Cry Me a River," and the moment spread like wildfire, of course. Now, one attendee described the vibe as just super awkward, saying the outburst left the crowd visibly uncomfortable. But what exactly set JT off? Well, let's see if I can break it down. I mean, according to multiple sources, the performance was already a technical disaster. The audio was glitchy, the lighting was reportedly all over the place, and at one point it looked like Justin missed a cue entirely, probably because something went wrong behind the scenes. Now, one outlet even claimed that his in-ears weren't working, which, if you're not familiar, is a total nightmare for any singer on stage. So yeah, by mid-show it looked like Justin was just done being polite, done being professional, and just simply done, period. Now, at one point he stormed to the back of the stage and appeared to lash out at the tech team. There was no mic on him, unfortunately, during the ramp, but body language doesn't lie, and Timberlake looked like he was ready to start swinging a mic stand. Now, let's keep it real. He's on tour, fresh off a DWI arrest that already left his image bruised, and trying to prove that, he's still got it. So maybe the pressure's getting to him, maybe he's trying to deliver a perfect show and everything just went, kaboom. Either way, the internet's not exactly giving him a hug. In fact, Twitter, sorry, X, was flooded with comments like Justin Timberlake acting like he's on a world tour when it looks like a high school assembly. Bros yelling like he's in NSYNC with his anger issues. Ouch. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time JT has had to do damage control between the DWI, the Janet Jackson Super Bowl fallout still haunting him, and that awkward reaction of Britney's memoir. Fans are starting to say the cracks are showing. One commenter even joked, saying he went from suit and tie to scream and cry. And honestly, that's not wrong. Now, as of this recording, Justin hasn't made any official statement about the incident. No apology, no explanation, not even like a "hey guys, sorry I glitched harder than my sound system," like nada, nothing. But insiders say this kind of blow up could hurt him, especially at a time when public opinion is already very shaky for him. So what do we think? Is this just an artist under pressure having a bad night? Or is the Prince of Pop turning into the King of Karen? Let me know what side of the drama you're on, and if you were one of the fans at the show, I'm begging you to spill all the tea in the comments. Either way, one thing's for sure, Justin Timberlake's comeback tour is giving more chaos than charisma right now.
It was so obvious that Katy Perry was lip syncing during her performance at the NRJ Music Awards. Like, there was a very blatant 15-second delay between what she was hearing in her earpiece and what the audience was hearing in the crowd. And like in clips from that night, you can just see the embarrassment on Katy's face when the host of the show asked her to start again. And then, "Oh yeah, you actually have to sing." And that's not her only notable super embarrassing onstage moment. In 2008, she was performing her hit song I Kissed a Girl for the MTV Latin American Awards, and she must have thought that jumping into a gigantic pink frosted cake was like a great idea. But then it was time for her to get out of the cake and she kind of was being held hostage. She fell flat on her face when she finally wrestled free of the cake, and then another 7 times before she was carried off stage, the cake tripping her on her way out. And even though it was like super embarrassing, she managed to keep a smile on her face, so like points to her, but like girl, choices. Hugh Jackman once admitted in an interview that he had a bit of a leak in front of a crowd while he was on stage playing Gaston in a 1996 Australian production of Beauty and the Beast. So the actor revealed that after enduring headaches for 2 months, he asked an expert what to do and they said drink more water. So on the day of performing, he consumed so much water that by the time he was set to deliver his first number, he had to go. He explained, literally, I'm picking up Belle, and as I pick her up, I stopped singing, and right in that moment, I realized the muscles you need to release in order to sing are the ones you don't want to release if you, need to go. Back in 2013, Selena Gomez was performing at the Kiss FM Jingle Ball and was dealing with some major sound issues. Now, she might have been lip syncing because apparently what was heard in the crowd was her backup track, and like honestly whatever, lip syncing happens, but after one of her songs, the lights went down, the crowd went nuts, and then she yelled, "What the F?" into the microphone, because she didn't realize it was still on. So then everybody in the crowd was murmuring, like really nervously, and when the lights came back up, she was like, "Oh, so sorry guys, sound issues, I'm gonna play 2 more songs." Well, she only played 1 more song and then had to leave the stage. Poor thing. The 2012 Emmy Awards caused quite a ruckus for the beautiful Sofia Vergara. Seems like her designer dress was a little too tight and her derriere for its freedom and came up victorious. 20 minutes before Modern Family won the Outstanding Comedy Award for the 3rd year in a row, this wardrobe malfunction sent Sofia Vergara flying backstage to fix the problem with the help of her wardrobe team. Thankfully, this embarrassing moment did not faze her one bit. She even tweeted out the photo of her rear end for the entire world to see. You go, girl. Jennifer Lawrence is an incredible actress, super down to earth, super relatable. She's super talented, she's quick on her feet, but sometimes she's a little too quick on her feet. And we all saw this back in 2013 when she won Best Actress and tripped up the stairs while on her way to accept the award. Look, I've been there, I've worn the big skirts, I've fallen and done my fair share, but I don't think anybody has ever fallen quite as much as she has in terms of red carpet events, but she's doing great. Maybe just like get some help when you're wearing the big ball gowns. Been there. Beyonce is more than a person. She is the embodiment of beauty, talent, and success. She's lived most of her life on stage performing like she was born to do, and throughout her entire career she's remained classy in any outfit, no matter how revealing or outrageous, and has continued to be just incredible. It cannot be argued. Queen Bee all the way. But hey, even queens have their moments, and it's their choice on whether to dwell on them or pick themselves up. And I think we can all agree that when Queen Bee falls down, she bounces back up in a heartbeat, which she has proven to us over and over again. I think all in all she's fallen like 9 or 10 times, but her biggest stumble was during the Beyonce Experience tour, where she fell down 12 steps. Thankfully she didn't get hurt, but like, whew, poor thing. Ouchie. Kelly Clarkson found herself in a bad position after some food didn't agree with her stomach during a performance. She almost ended up pooping her pants on stage, and when she had the opportunity to run off during a quick change, she apparently destroyed a trash can. She said, like, I got some kind of wrecked up from some kind of food. We were in an arena, and I shouldn't tell this story, but like I said, I don't have a filter. She had to run backstage to do her quick change. She grabbed this poor trash can, and boy, she destroyed it. It was bad. She's like, it was bad. I'm just saying, it happens. What are you supposed to do? Hey, you do you. Things happen. Joe Jonas once had an accident on stage in the middle of a performance with his brother. Looking back on the 2019 incident, Joe says that when he realized he had also done a number 2, he quickly ran off to make a quick wardrobe change. And while he thought a lot of people would notice, turns out nobody really knew what was happening. He said, let's just say it was a bad day to choose to wear white clothing. You might think it might be a little toot, might have been a little something else, it was a little something extra. He said it was a light one, wasn't a full, so I was able to tell the tale. Thank you so much for that detail, Joe. That's what I needed today. He definitely continued the whole time. I thought this was definitely, somebody is going to be able to see this and know what is happening, but it was all in my head. Wasn't as big of a deal as I thought. But such is life. It's happened to many artists. I feel like I've paid my dues. I'm part of some secret club now. Yeah, okay, pal. In 2004, Ashley Simpson performed her hit single Pieces of Me on Saturday Night Live, and it went fine. But then when she came back to perform her next tune, Autobiography, things went south. The vocals for Pieces of Me began playing while her mic was down at her side. She tried to recover, for some reason, with a spontaneous hoedown before fleeing the stage. We've all seen the clip. At the end of the episode, a a visibly mortified Simpson said, "I feel so bad. My band started playing the wrong song. Didn't know what to do. Thought I'd do a hoedown." Later on 60 Minutes, she blamed her acid reflux for her reliance on a backing vocal track, and she's attempted comebacks, but no public was having it. Her record sales never recovered. We haven't really heard from her ever again. The house is packed. The ovation is standing, but the reviews are scathing. Why is it that there was such a visceral reaction to Cameron Dallas's run in the Broadway adaptation of Mean Girls as romantic lead Aaron Samuels? Was the runway model turned Broadway star too harshly treated by the critics online? Or was this a really damning moment of the dreaded stunt casting that's plagued a lot of Broadway productions for years? When the original Aaron, the beloved by fans Kyle Selig, opted to take a leave of absence from the show, it was announced that Mean Girls would introduce Cameron Dallas to take over the mantle for just like 4 weeks. And the decision proved unpopular with hardcore fans of the New York theater community, but also saw a huge response from fans of the heartthrob. Look, at the time, he was like the most famous member of the cast. He had more followers on Insta and Twitter than the entire ensemble put together multiple times over. His announcement on Instagram garnered almost as many likes as the official Mean Girls on Broadway account had followers altogether. We're talking like over 200,000. So there was no doubting, objectively, the considerable difference in ability at almost every quantifiable level between the social media celeb and the man he was covering for. Kyle's vocal range was leagues above Cameron Dallas's. Ditto to the acting credits. After all, there's a decade of experience in musical theater, stage time, and possibly most egregiously for theater purists, dues paid between the pair. Like when Kyle won the National High School Music Award and was subsequently granted a $10,000 scholarship for musical theater, Vine, the app where Cameron Dallas would launch his career, was still 2 years away from launching. One Reddit poster claimed that after watching the show on what was Cameron's opening night, that he sounded like he was reading his lines from a teleprompter. I remember when this hit the internet, I heard a boot. It was rough. John Cena made sure he didn't show too much on the 2024 Oscars stage. The actor appeared to be fully in the nude as he presented the award for Best Costume Design. He certainly wasn't wearing much, but he had some precautions in place to avoid any dramatic wardrobe malfunction. Now, behind the scenes photos do show Cena standing in an Oscars hallway wearing a modesty pouch to cover up the most personal parts. It's basically a pair of underwear, pocketed to the front and the back. So while it looked like the pro wrestler could flash the audience at any moment, the Oscars team made sure that wasn't gonna happen. It was all an homage to one dramatic Oscars moment past. The 46th Academy Awards, 1974. David Niven was in the middle of introducing Elizabeth Taylor when a streaker ran across the stage, and host Jimmy Kimmel was like, hey, can you imagine if a nude man ran across the stage today? And Cena fit the bill. But he wasn't going to become the next Hollywood streaker. They were joking that, he was supposed to, and then he got cold feet. And if you found yourself wondering if this was a music performance or a episode of WWE Raw, don't worry, you're not alone. While performing at the 2013 Billboard Music Awards, R&B star Miguel decided to take things up a notch. He leapt from the stage across the teeming crowd, but fell short, directly landing on a fan's head while hitting another with his leg. To add to the awkwardness, he proceeded to hug the wrong person and continued with his performance. He later appeared in a backstage interview with one of the injured fans in an apparent attempt at damage control. However, he was eventually sued by another lady who claimed to have also been hurt by his humiliating jump.
Recently, we've had a pretty remarkable meltdown from Kanye West. The rapper turned designer turned US presidential candidate turned Yahtzee with an N has been crashing out online. Admittedly, for a few years, but it picked up in 2025 after the Grammys. The Grammys this year is where Ye's wife Bianca was nude with mesh. Obviously, there was lots of pushback because of this fashion choice that eventually spurred on the latest Kanye West social media rant. Parts of the rant were in support of his wife and her fashion choices, but there were other things in there as well. Lots of hateful words, mainly directed at the Jewish population. He also tweeted in support of people like Diddy and against those that have come forward in the Me Too movement. Essentially, he was tweeting whatever came to mind. Most notably, he tweeted out a photo of a white t-shirt with a well-known Yahtzee with an N hate symbol on it and said that he would never sell something like that because his followers might get hurt if they wear it in public. So not because that symbol is a mark of hatred, at least in the way that Kanye was using it, not in its original context of course, but because the people that would want to wear it hatefully might get hurt. Anyways, literally, guess what he started selling shortly after that? You'll never get it. The very same t-shirt. He took out an ad during the Super Bowl, aka like the most watched sports event in the US, and advertised his website, but when people went there, the only item for sale was the shirt he said he would never sell. The ad itself was also quite strange. It was filmed on his phone, which was similar to what he did last year, except last year he filmed from his car and the site was full of normal clothes and shoes, whereas this year he filmed from seemingly his dentist office right after a procedure, and the site led to the one terrible t-shirt. Kanye's Twitter rant eventually morphed into him literally tweeting out explicit videos, links to them, which is interesting considering a couple years ago he was calling for the site to remove all of that stuff and that Jesus saves. It was after this that he deactivated his account for the first time. He returned shortly after with more offensive and erratic tweets. Now, listen, I don't really think that Kanye is humiliated by his outbursts at all, but he should be. His hate-filled remarks have no place anywhere, and it's truly amazing how in just a couple years he went from preaching about the Lord to claiming to be him. But back when the idea of going viral was still kind of a new thing, Christian Bale had a meltdown that grew so popular it was people's ringtones. So let's set the scene. Bale is working on Terminator Salvation, or T4. He's in the middle of a scene and the cinematographer walks into the background of a shot right across Bale's sightline. Bale proceeds to crash out about this. The video of this moment was never released if there was any, but there was audio, and honestly, the video's not really needed. You can hear how mad the actor is. After being released online, the audio quickly spread to every inch of the internet. It featured plenty of explicit language, enough to get cancelled by today's standards for sure. He called the cinematographer unprofessional multiple times, threatened to quit, the whole 9 yards. Bale yelled that he wouldn't go around during a scene ripping the set apart, so why should the cinematographer be disrespecting the actor's space like this too? In the end, the rant had more of an effect on Terminator Salvation than it did Bale's career. People obviously weren't happy with how Bale treated the cinematographer, but for the most part, it was just kind of the movie that flopped. People were already on the fence about T4, and the rant just made people want to see it less. Bale ended up issuing a public apology, saying he was out of order beyond belief, he makes no excuses for it, there is nobody that has heard the tape that has been hit harder than him, and saying that he sometimes gets so lost in a role that he does lose himself a bit. Shortly after this, Bale went on to star in the final installment of the Dark Knight trilogy, and the on-set rant turned into a minor hiccup in the actor's journey and a fun fact that you would hear about in a video like this. The on-set meltdown nearly destroyed his career at the time, but then, you know, Batman came back around, and it's amazing what a good acting performance can do for someone's reputation. Hugh Grant was called out online after the reason for his on-set meltdown on the Dungeons & Dragons film came to light. The British actor apparently lost it on a woman who was simply there to chaperone the young star of the movie. He had thought that she was someone who was more familiar with movie sets, like an executive or someone like that. I mean, that doesn't really warrant the response that he apparently had. Grant said that he had lost his temper and compared himself to Christian Bale's infamous 2009 incident. He shared all this in an interview with Total Film magazine. Apparently, it also happened on the first day of filming. He said that he ended up doing a lot of groveling once he realized the error of his ways and that the woman was actually very nice. Unfortunately, this outburst news was not exactly a surprise to a lot of people that have followed Grant's career through the years. He gained a rep for being very difficult on set. In 2012, TV host and actor Jon Stewart claimed that Grant's on-set behavior wasn't great, saying the actor would never be welcomed back on the show that he had been working for at the time. He also said that Grant was giving everyone grief the whole time. Hugh Grant appeared to have taken a break from acting early in his career, but according to the actor, that was not on purpose. Apparently, his behavior on the movie set, Did You Hear About the Morgans, caused opportunities to dry up for him, and that's not me saying that, it's him. He pinpointed this flick as the moment his career took a pause, claiming that Hollywood gave me up because I made such a massive turkey with that film with Sarah Jessica Parker. Whether I wanted to or not after that, the days of being a very well-paid leading man were suddenly gone overnight. People are also speculating that Grant is the person behind an on-set story from Rebecca Ferguson told early last year. The actress shared that she was once screamed at by a co-star on set to the point of tears. To be clear, Ferguson has never actually named the person that she was talking about. She made it clear that she wanted people to focus less on that and more on the message that she was trying to convey. The Sparks Notes version of that is that you need to know how to stand up for yourself. But still, the internet loves drama and began combing through her past projects trying to find the actor. Due to his past on-set behavior, when people saw that Hugh Grant starred in Florence Foster Jenkins with her, he became suspect number one. It's like a year later though, and there hasn't been any confirmation that the yeller was in fact Hugh Grant. Though the actor himself has said that Renee Zellweger is one of the few actresses that he hasn't fallen out with, so there's that. Hailey Bieber was called out by a former restaurant host on TikTok for being not nice, leading to the star issuing a public apology. Back in 2020, TikToker Julia Carol Ann started rating celebrities that she had interacted with during her time at an upscale, unspecified New York restaurant. Using a 1 to 10 schedule, she would share why certain people ranked the way that they did. Hailey Bieber received a 3.5 out of 10. Julia claimed that she had interacted with with the model multiple times and none of them were great. She said that she wasn't trying to be a hater and wanted to like the star, but the score speaks for itself. It's not clear exactly what Bieber might have done to receive this score, but it's clear that she wasn't proud of her past actions when she actually found and responded to this video. The model left a comment apologizing for her behavior that read, "Just came across this video and wanted to say so sorry if I've ever given you bad vibes or a bad attitude. That's not ever my intention." She went on to say that she was glad that she was called out and held accountable for her behavior so she can do better in the future. She also said that she hoped the pair could someday meet in person so she could apologize face to face. Caroline did respond saying that she hopes for the same and that she also appreciated Bieber taking accountability for her actions. The precise words were calling her an accountability queen. Despite Bieber apologizing, people still attacked her online. She's one of those people on the internet that people just do not like and will take any opportunity to go after. Sometimes it's warranted, other times it's not, in my opinion anyways. Anyway, the point is she receives a lot of hate online pretty consistently, and that can take a toll mentally. She gave fans an inside look at how it all affects her in a series posted to her YouTube channel featuring psychiatrist Dr. Jessica Clemens. She directly addressed the previously mentioned TikTok, saying that seeing the video really upset her. She explained that at varying points, presumably including that of when she met the hostess, she was going through a lot of emotional lows and interacting with anyone was difficult. She did clarify that she knows that that doesn't excuse her negative behavior. The model shared that she actually didn't even remember meeting Caroline, but she still regretted her actions and wants to strive to do better. Just a couple weeks ago, Sabrina Carpenter ran screaming from the stage after she was standing a little too close to some pyrotechnics. The singer was at San Francisco's Outside Lands Festival on August 10th to perform some of her hits. The show was a massive success, featuring some really great performances, but I guess they missed one pretty important detail in rehearsal: how far away Sabrina should stand from the platform when the pyrotechnics go off. The star genuinely seemed scared for her life after the fireworks started going off all around her, to the point where people wondered if something was seriously wrong. It's unclear in videos if she was hit by a firework or simply was just surprised by them. Hopefully it's the latter. John Travolta said Idina Menzel's name wrong one time and it lives rent-free in my head. But where did Travolta say her name wrong? In an interview? On a red carpet? No, he did it while presenting at the Oscars, and not even like an award. He was introducing her before she sang one of the most famous Disney songs ever, Let It Go. People were tuned in to watch this performance. The odds were so stacked against him. His intro was, "Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem." Now, I don't know who that is, but Idina Menzel did a great job. She said it took her 8 beats to get over the pronunciation. Travolta later shared what caused the vocal blunder. It was a combination of things. He met Goldie Hawn backstage, and then his lines were changed last minute to add phonetic spelling of Menzel's name that he never rehearsed with, which makes me wonder how they could have possibly written her name to get Adele Dazeem. As expected, the interview took this misstep and ran with it. Someone made a Travoltify your name generator. If you go to Google and look up Adele Dazeem, it will show you Idina Menzel. Menzel took this all in stride, even recently wished the moment a happy 10th birthday, but she got her revenge the next year at the 2015 Oscars, introducing Travolta as Glom Gazingo. Kendall Jenner trying to introduce 5 Seconds of Summer at the 2014 Billboard Music Awards is a tough watch. What was in the air that year? Kendall was supposed to introduce 5 Seconds of Summer, right? But it sounds like she almost introduced One Direction instead. She was doing really good up until the end. She just got lost. I can see why she might have messed up. At the beginning of her bit, the word direction was stressed, and the word summer was used back to back. When she hit her first hiccup, Jenner got flustered quickly and visibly was panicking before saying, "Guys, I'm the worst reader," nervously laughing before jumping back on the horse for a semi-strong finish. After the moment happened, Jenner tweeted an explanation. She messed up because she didn't have her contacts. But now we are, in fact, going to talk about One Direction. And again, this screw up happened in 2014. What was up with that year? In this case, we are at the Brit Awards. One Direction has just won the award for global success. There are only 4 boys up there, and this was a time when there should have been 5. Point is, Harry Styles wasn't on stage. Liam Payne started stalling a little to see if Styles could be located, saying, "Has anyone seen the curly lad?" Right, there's 4 of us now, and that's some real life for foreshadowing right there. But then just as Liam is kind of wrapping up the acceptance speech, out from the shadows and sprinting to the stage is one Harry Styles. Poor Harry gets up on the stage and Liam hands him the mic. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't even know what award they've won. He does share why he was gone, saying, "I'm really sorry, I was having a wee." The 2013 Oscars were iconic for one reason, and that was the Jennifer Lawrence stair trip. 22-year-old Lawrence had just won the Oscar for Best Actress. She's wearing this beautiful long gown, which is her undoing because she trips and falls on her way up the stairs. But it's Jennifer Lawrence, so she plays it off so well. Works it into her speech, she gets a standing ovation when she does finally get up to the podium, and addresses the crowd saying, "You guys are just standing up because you feel bad that I fell and that's really embarrassing." How could you not love her? Though it was embarrassing, now it's part of the Lawrence charm to be just a little bit clumsy. We love it when a celebrity proves that they are human just like us. And honestly, if you look at the pictures of the fall, she still looks great and kind of like a Disney princess. Joe Coy's bad Barbie joke at this year's Golden Globes got the comedian swiftly cancelled. First off, I can't believe that was this year. That feels like it was ages ago. And second, he was cancelled because he said a lot of really bad jokes and strange things. The Barbie joke was just the worst. Coy eventually got around to talking about the event of last summer, Barbenheimer, in his opening monologue. He compared what the two films were based on, mentioning that Oppenheimer was based on a 721-page Pulitzer Prize-winning book about the Manhattan Project, whereas Barbie was based on a plastic doll and went on to speak cruelly about said doll. Finishing off with the stellar line, "The key moment in Barbie is when she goes from perfect beauty to bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet, or what casting directors call character actor." The audience's reaction to this moment are funnier than any joke he told that night. You can tell that Coy can feel that he's not doing a good job. He starts blaming the writers, making excuses like how he only got the job 10 days ago, saying that he didn't write the bad jokes, he wrote the ones everyone is laughing at. Either way, it wasn't a good look. Larry David introducing Ariana Grande on SNL is over 8 years old now, and I still laugh every time. It happened right before Ariana was supposed to sing her hit song Dangerous Woman. Larry David says, "Ladies and gentlemen, just fine. It's just when he gets to her name that it goes downhill. Names are hard. I don't blame him. He goes for Ariana Grande. He ends up saying Ariana before just giving up. He knows he messed up too much to fix it, so he just stops, and we've all been there. He even does the little hand clap thing that universally conveys that you've accepted your fate. This video is so funny, and some random audience member also lets out the loudest laugh you've ever heard. It's a miracle Ariana was able to perform. I simply would have started laughing. Steve Harvey frequently hosts the Miss Universe pageant, and while he does do a good job, he also makes some little mistakes every once in a while, but none are more famous than when he read out the wrong winner back in 2015, crowning Miss Colombia when in reality Miss Philippines was the winner. Harvey has since looked back on this moment, calling it painful and the worst week of his life. I don't blame him, he was the internet's favorite target for a while. He later explained that the reason the mess up even happened was because there were a lot of changes made before he was supposed to head out on stage. So typically they read 2 names, but that was changed to 3. Apparently, he was also told to read the wrong name by someone in his earpiece. He was told to read the next name, which was Columbia, on the card, and he didn't even know anything was wrong after he read it, since he stepped off stage and got a bunch of compliments. It wasn't until someone on his team let him know what happened that he got with the program. Harvey said that he regrets going back out on the stage after and wishes he could have let someone else handle it, believing that if he did that, he wouldn't have received so much backlash. Fergie singing the national anthem at the 2018 NBA All-Star Basketball game is one of my favorite videos on the internet. We all know that Fergie is talented, but what happened here? She was so into it, and if you look at the players' faces, they are all trying so hard not to laugh. It's really painful. The Fergie edition of the anthem was received so poorly, she had to put out a statement saying, "I'm a risk taker artistically, but clearly this rendition didn't strike the intended tone. I love this country and honestly tried my best. I do personally want to know what the intended tone was, and I would love to see soundcheck." This moment was caught on live TV, but it's now immortalized in a children's book too. The book is called The Ferg-American National Anthem, A Civic Story, and it's highly encouraged that the reader listen to Fergie's anthem while reading. Eerily similar to the Miss America moment was the La La Land debacle from the 2017 Oscars. Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway were up presenting the award for Best Picture that year and called out La La Land as the winner, but that was not true at all. Moonlight really won the award. It was extremely confusing, and though it only took a couple minutes to fix the mistake, the damage was done. After the event was over, the reason why the mistake happened came out. The Oscars apparently have 2 sets of the cards that presenters would get, one on each side of the stage. Emma Stone had just won Best Actress in La La Land, so one card was out, but the other Best Actress card was still active, and that one was handed to Warren and Faye by mistake. That's why Warren took so long to announce the award and looked at the card so many times. He could see that it said Emma Stone in La La Land and was just really confused by it. Luckily, they caught it though.